Welcome to Dark Psychology World Channel. I hope you like it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now I will start reading this book to you. Silence speaks louder than words. Uncover the power of silence audiobook. Our world is filled with noise. In today's fast-paced world, we are bombarded with constant distractions. Whether it's the never-ending stream of social media updates or the constant buzzing of notifications on our devices, many people have overlooked the incredible power of silence, which is both simple and profound. Many people fill their spare moments by scrolling through social media feeds or engaging in small talk to avoid moments of stillness and solitude. Yet the profound lessons that silence can impart often get overshadowed by the noise of daily existence. The quiet ones are often underestimated. Although loud and boisterous people tend to grab our attention and make us weigh, those who are quiet can be even more enigmatic. Complexities lie beneath the calm surface. As the old saying suggests, we have limited knowledge about the introverted colleague who prefers to eat alone, or the soft-spoken neighbor with unconventional schedules. When people remain noticeably quiet, it piques curiosity and even raises suspicions about what lies beneath their composed demeanor. This book delves into the profound insights that can be gained from silence for those who are open to quieting the noise both around them and within themselves. When we embrace silence, it creates an opportunity to form deeper connections with ourselves, others, and the meaning of life. Profound insights often elude us amidst the chaos of our thoughts, the busyness of our days, and the superficiality of our conversations. Quietness creates room for personal comprehension and distinguishes what is truly important through a combination of research, spiritual traditions, and real-world experiences. Valuable insights have been gathered about the human experience from the power of silence. These lessons explore the power of silence in fostering reflection, building relationships, cultivating resilience, promoting healing, and finding purpose. Silence carries a meaningful message. Violence carries a meaningful message. Far from being empty or awkward, this book aims to inspire readers to create peaceful environments where they can uncover the messages that silence holds. Discovering the art of stillness brings a newfound sense of purpose and richness to our lives. Lesson 1: Silent people are more dangerous in interpersonal contexts. Silence can be quite powerful and potentially dangerous. Evading discussion through tactics like the silent treatment and stonewalling can have a detrimental effect on relationships and cause victims to question their own reality. Entire societies often choose to remain silent and turn a blind eye to crimes and abuse, thereby suppressing free speech and the truth in oppressive regimes. The most dire truths often remain unspoken. Ultimately, silence can convey a great deal while divulging very little. Clear and straightforward thoughts are kept private, revealing little to others. When there is silence, it gives space for wisdom and creativity to arise. However, can also lead to negative outcomes when people's inner thoughts and intentions are not shared and discussed openly. The paradox of silence is a fascinating phenomenon that brings out both the best and worst in humankind. Maybe that's why we find ourselves most fascinated by those mysterious people who say the least. We wonder what important information or hidden truths their silence hides. In challenging situations involving conflict, criticism, or intense conversations, remaining silent can be a powerful response. When faced with a situation where we feel the need to respond, it can be beneficial to take a moment of silence. This allows us to reflect on what has been said and respond in a well-thought-out manner. It's often wiser to stay quiet and let others assume you're knowledgeable rather than speaking up and revealing your ignorance. When we get upset or defensive, we often end up saying things that we later feel sorry about. The brain's fight or flight response is not designed to handle complexity. Being quiet helps us avoid hasty responses that might go against our principles or escalate situations. Taking a moment to think before responding also demonstrates confidence. By avoiding impulsive reactions, by remaining silent, one can carefully analyze the fundamental truths that form the basis of different perspectives. Valid concerns may exist at the heart of criticism directed towards us or ideas that we perceive as attacks. It can be valuable to consider alternative perspectives that we may have initially dismissed. If we had acted quickly, we might have overlooked valuable insights that challenge our own perspective. Remaining quiet conveys a sense of dignity that surpasses the effectiveness of lengthy rants or heated arguments. It's like participating in a peaceful protest, choosing not to engage with a system we disagree with instead of getting caught up in cycles of conflict. Speaking from a place of reflection adds weight and wisdom to our words. We become more focused on what truly matters instead of getting caught up in ego-driven reactions that ultimately have little purpose. Lesson 2: use silence to become mentally strong in the midst of the constant noise that surrounds us. Taking a moment of quiet introspection can help us develop emotional resilience to face the challenges that life throws our way. Practices like mindfulness meditation and solo nature retreats showcase the mental strength that comes from embracing silence without structured activity to occupy it. The mind tends to focus on problems, regrets, and anxieties. However, by staying focused and pushing through discomfort, you can develop self-awareness, discipline, and concentration. Similar to how physical exercise strengthens muscles, silently contemplating and facing inner demons helps develop mental resilience. Being alone in silence can also help foster independence to prevent being influenced by the biases and judgments of others. We can minimize external inputs. Developing our own interpretations and beliefs necessitates liberation from the constant influence of societal opinions. Quietness for an extended period promotes self-reliance and resilience, encouraging people to think, speak, and act independently. Ultimately, silence allows us to tap into our untapped inner wisdom. Many times the dem of everyday life can prevent us from connecting with the deeper truths about what truly matters to us, our values, and our purpose. When we take a break from our busy lives, we create space for our inner voice to provide valuable insights and guidance that we often overlook when we're constantly on the move. Has anything truly meaningful or creative ever emerged from a chaotic mix of conflicting opinions? It's important for our mental well-being to avoid getting too emotionally involved with every person and situation we come across. Things happen, people connect, and conflicts arise beyond our influence. Although it is admirable to have a strong concern for people and causes, becoming too attached can lead to feelings of anxiety, stress, and suffering when things don't go as planned. Practicing healthy detachment, on the other hand, helps you gain clarity and maintain inner calm even when faced with external challenges. People enter and exit our lives just as jobs, possessions, and the self we currently identify with. Attachments can give a false sense of permanence to things that are naturally temporary in life. Embracing change without getting too attached can help reduce the pain caused by holding on to certain people, results, and aspects of who we are. We observe from a distance rather than becoming too involved. From this down-to-earth perspective, we approach situations with empathy while releasing the desire for control. Shodin illustrates the concept by using the analogy of being swept away in a powerful current struggling against The river's current leads to panic and distress, leaving one drained and overwhelmed. However, maintaining a state of detachment allows us to navigate smoothly without wasting in unnecessary energy on resistance. Letting go of attachments can be a freeing experience. We prioritize our personal development and strive to achieve inner tranquility as we go along. The things that are out of our control become less significant. A grounded values-based identity remains unshakable. By events we can experience tremendous freedom and empowerment by aligning our beliefs and actions in our fast-paced modern society. The importance of sleep, calmness, and rest is often overlooked. However, engaging in these activities is crucial for maintaining physical vitality, mental health, cognitive performance, and overall well-being. When we constantly rush through life without taking a moment to pause, we miss out on valuable opportunities to reflect on our experiences, recharge from stressful situations, and unlock our creative potential. By prioritizing sleep, calmness, and rest, we can disconnect from constant stimulation and discover deeper fulfillment. Sufficient sleep is crucial as it enhances concentration, decision-making abilities, and even longevity. However, due to busy schedules, a lot of people struggle to adhere to fundamental sleep hygiene practices. By adjusting our sleep schedule, reducing exposure to blue light in the evenings, and creating calming bedtime rituals, we prepare ourselves for a restful night's sleep. Practices such as breathwork, meditation, yoga, or enjoying a warm bath can help relax your body and make it easier to get a good night's sleep. Similarly, intentionally soothing our nervous systems while we're awake by practicing mindfulness, immersing ourselves in nature, or taking things at a slower pace can have significant advantages. Having a calm focus can greatly improve productivity, especially when compared to the scattered attention that comes with frenetic multitasking. Life feels more grounded and intentional when we make a habit of pausing regularly instead of constantly moving on to the next task. Incorporating periods of genuine rest and leisure in addition to getting enough sleep allows the brain to synthesize learning and consolidate memories from recent experiences. Reflection necessitates creating mental space free from constant distractions and business. By balancing productive work with moments of relaxation, exploration, curiosity, and imaginative play, the conditions for personal development become favorable. Anna's childhood home was filled with constant noise and commotion, with siblings shouting and televisions blaring. Seeking tranquility, she frequently sought solace in the nearby library, immersing herself in books for hours on end, relishing the blissful silence. Anna's busy corporate job often had her attending consecutive meetings with constant phone calls. By the end of the day, she often found herself exhausted and drained, seeking solace on the couch. Upon receiving a doctor's warning about the detrimental effects of chronic stress on her health, Anna resolves to implement some changes every morning. Before the chaos ensues, she dedicates herself to 30 minutes of peaceful meditation. Anna finds it challenging to adjust to the silence after a lifetime of constant noise, feeling restless as her anxieties come to the forefront. However, over time, a feeling of tranquility emerges as she becomes adept at observing her thoughts without passing judgment. She has a knack for recognizing triggers and redirecting focus. Anna also starts going on solo nature walks to relax without any distractions from podcasts or phone calls. Amidst the tranquility of the woods, her perspective transforms, revealing the hidden beauty and profound meaning that had been overshadowed by the pressures of everyday life. After a few months of practicing this daily ritual of silence, Anna notices a significant improvement in her focus and sense of purpose, she experiences improvements in her skin, finds relief in her tense shoulders, and becomes less affected by minor frustrations after the pandemic strikes, and Anna's workplace transitions to remote work. The never-ending video calls and online conversations continue to exhaust her. She prioritizes her morning quiet time, which helps her stay calm in the face of workplace uncertainty. Colleagues often remark on Anna's ability to remain calm and level-headed during times of crisis. Anna Continue used to find joy in the energetic commotion of large family gatherings, but now values the importance of taking time for herself to maintain her inner radiance. She now views cultivating a mental sanctuary as crucial for self-care in a world that is constantly encroaching on her peace. Anna's ability to find strength and resilience in stillness helps her navigate through external storms. Lesson 3: words can empower, but they can also hurt people. When language is used effectively, it fosters connections, spreads impactful ideas, and amplifies the voices of those who are often overlooked. However, words can also have the power to inflict harm. Similar to physical violence, words once uttered or written can have a profound impact, causing harm to reputations, self-esteem, and lives. It's important to think before we speak, taking into account how our words can impact others. Effective leaders demonstrate the power of responsible language to inspire and motivate others towards positive change. Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech is unforgettable, inspiring generations with its powerful message of equality and unity. Studies indicate that using language that highlights shared values and a sense of belonging rather than focusing on divisions between groups greatly enhances the effectiveness and unity of communication. However, these channels can also be used to facilitate verbal abuse in various settings where people interact and power dynamics come into play. Victims of emotional and verbal assaults by family, coaches, romantic partners, or colleagues are deeply affected by the lasting scars they carry. Adverse childhood experiences such as abuse, neglect, or living with domestic violence have been linked to a wide range of health complications later in life. According to clinical research in general, we tend to underestimate the impact that casual remarks or thoughtless jokes can have on vulnerable people. It's important to take a moment to assess whether our words match our intentions before speaking. Many arguments in favor of free speech tend to overlook the impact that words have on shaping culture and policy. In information ecosystems, unverified claims can rapidly be accepted as truth, leading to severe consequences in marginalized communities. In today's world, it is crucial to use language responsibly in our society. Those who speak up frequently and confidently are often the ones who receive recognition and rewards. However, even the most knowledgeable people throughout history advise against I've talking and emphasize the importance of thinking before speaking. Speaking too often not only results in mistakes but also hides the truth that is often revealed through silence. Using concise language enhances clarity of thought, creates an air of intrigue, and garners admiration. When we speak without thinking, we often make mistakes such as making inaccurate claims, filling our words with nonsense, or unintentionally offending others. In situations filled with strong emotions, people who act without thinking may say things that they later deeply regret. Experts often remain silent and allow others to make mistakes with their own words. By refraining from making strong assertions, you can avoid the need to backtrack or justify your stance if it turns out to be incorrect. Additionally, spreading everything diminishes your uniqueness. Mystique gives influencers an advantage. Capturing the attention of others, scarcity creates a sense of excitement and appeal. Being Concise is valued in a society that tends to share too much. You exude self-assurance in your identity without constantly seeking validation from others. Being concise is important for a good reason, as Shakespeare once said. Those who communicate clearly and concisely come across as more intelligent than those who endlessly ramble without making a clear point. When you speak concisely, your thoughts become clearer as you distill them into concise and impactful essences. Editing output involves transforming vague ideas into clear and compelling thoughts that can be effectively communicated. When you have a conversation, try to resist the temptation to talk just for the sake of filling silence. Focus on the key points and pay attention to the insights found in the gaps between words. Truth often becomes apparent through what is left unspoken. Lesson 4: do only the essential. Speak only when required. Our fast-paced society values being busy and staying connected all the time. However, when we produce words and take actions without purpose, it disperses our valuable mental energies. The most effective contributors prioritize eyes and focus solely on what is essential. By carefully selecting and limiting our focus, we can ensure that our efforts have a significant impact. In today's world of constant notifications and online distractions, it's important to have a dedicated space for focused creative work. If we allow meaningless conversations to take up all our mental space, we won't be able to listen to our important inner thoughts. By speaking only when necessary, we can amplify the impact of our messages. In a world filled with noise, we often ignore the voices that offer us the same old cliches and rehearsed arguments. Communication becomes more effective when you choose your words carefully during important moments, capturing people's attention. Effective leaders recognize the importance of timing and strategic absence in order to create anticipation for their presence. Identify by crucial tasks apart from unnecessary busyness. Engaging in meaningful activities that nourish our inner selves can help address the voids left by business and fake work. We often find ourselves slipping into a reactionary mindset, losing focus on what truly matters. Before taking action, it's important to ask yourself, does this align with my purpose? Rejecting even favorable opportunities is crucial to maintain in focus on achieving greatness. Using words and actions in a measured way can help unlock your full potential. Focus on the essential elements, disregard unnecessary information, and avoid getting sidetracked. We are able to communicate effectively and take action when necessary, maintaining a sense of calm and confidence in today's fast-paced and interconnected world. Conversations are constantly moving at a rapid pace. Rarely do we take a moment to express our thoughts, frustrations, or differing opinions in a calm and clear manner. However, the wisdom traditions emphasize the importance of speaking concisely and focusing on meaningful content. Consider whether it is truly beneficial or meaningful before expressing every passing idea. A mentor who said sometimes it's best to leave 3/4s of what is discussed unsaid. What is the underlying value or advantage that can be found in the majority of online discussions or casual conversations? There is a lack of substance while blood pressures rise. Consider the potential benefits of continuing to discuss a topic that elicits anger. Is it enough to just share our truth with anyone who will listen? When we feel the need to express ourselves, could we strive to embody truth by living according to our principles without relying on external validation? A mentor once posed a challenge to me: only speak if your words surpass the beauty of silence. How effectively do our words communicate beauty, truth, and light compared to our desire to be heard? Before sending your contributions, take a moment to consider if they truly add value or if they just contribute to the noise. Reacting passionately should not lead us to make comments that go against our ethical principles or the respect we should have for each other. Even when we disagree, to cut through the noise, we need to identify our core values, prioritize how we spend our time, and communicate accordingly. By disregarding insignificant matters or distractions, we create room in our minds to appreciate life's more meaningful joys and pursue endeavors of greater importance. We prioritize topics that have the greatest impact, focusing our efforts on areas where we can make a significant difference. Pausing before speaking or replying online becomes instinctive with practice. We kindly inquired, is this necessary? If not, we can take comfort in the fact that our convictions remain strong without requiring validation from others. Power is derived not from the act of proving points, but from the ability to manifest cherished ideals that originate from within and extend outward. Throughout his life, Ravi always aimed to excel in every aspect, from being a top student to becoming the college debate champion and eventually a rising star at a demanding law firm. He was constantly engaged, delivering extensive speeches to juries and socializing with potential clients during elegant networking dinners. However, the constant pressure to make a good impression and secure deals had had a negative impact. Ravi experienced persistent fatigue but was unable to relax enough to sleep. To cope with their demanding 16-hour workdays, they relied on multiple cups of coffee. He began experiencing panic attacks prior to important presentations, with his mind filled with thoughts of potential mistakes. Following an intense week of working late nights on a high-profile case, Ravi wakes up in the hospital after collapsing from stress. The doctor advises taking at least a month off work and recommends practicing meditation and reducing screen time to restore balance. Ravi reluctantly decides to dedicate 20 minutes to meditation in the mornings and nights. Initially, his mind resists the silence, overwhelming him with concerns and ideas. Over time, he becomes better at observing his thoughts without getting caught up in the ones that cause anxiety. He learned turns to let ideas flow past without reacting in a straightforward manner. Ravi now makes it a habit to question himself before making any commitments or expressing himself. Is this really necessary? He gets really necessary. He gets rid of networking events and other obligations that drain his energy without helping him achieve his goals. In meetings at the office, he prefers to speak concisely and thoughtfully, believing that a few well-chosen words can have a greater impact than long, elaborate speeches. As time goes on, Ravi has started to trust his own intuition more and focus less on constantly strategizing and over-planning external factors. He discovers freedom from societal expectations that demand relentless work and self-promotion at any expense. His work and well-being thrive sustainably by selectively focusing energy. Lesson 5: remember that all shall pass. When we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of anxiety, heartbreak, or general malaise, it's common to believe that these conditions will never end. However, contemplating the fleeting nature of everything brings solace, optimism, and a broader outlook. The Buddha, who faced his own challenges, shared the mantra, "This too shall pass," to help us navigate the ups and downs of life. We can navigate through the passing of time, embracing moments of chaos with composure and appreciating the fleeting joy that comes our way. People from all cultures incorporate the phrase, "This too shall pass," into various forms of expression such as music, art, and ceremonies, whether they are solemn or joyous. In times of difficulty, keeping a positive outlook and looking towards a brighter future can help maintain morale and prevent current despair from clouding our perspective and leading to hope. hopelessness through patience one can gain wisdom self-mastery from the wounds of today on the other hand when we remind ourselves of the temporary nature of things during times of comfort it can help us feel grateful, create a sense of connection with others who are also going through difficulties, and ground our sense of self in the temporary roles we play. Stoic philosophers such as Senna advised maintaining a balanced perspective on external circumstances, avoiding extreme reactions in either direction. The environment is always changing around a core part of ourselves that remains unaffected as we navigate through the ever-shifting world. Mystics from various religious traditions emphasize the importance of letting go of temporary aspects of life and focusing on the timeless and unchanging spirit that resides within everyday experiences. When we encounter resistance or find ourselves clinging to things, it's helpful to remember the phrase "this too shall pass." This mindset allows us to go with the flow instead of fighting against reality. We can conserve energy by embracing life's twists and adapting to inevitable change, which allows us to last longer and suffer less damage when faced with chaos. Exploring different perspectives can reveal valuable opportunities for personal growth that may not be immediately apparent. Over time, the debris of today becomes the nourishment for tomorrow's crops. In today's fast-paced and interconnected world, expressing our thoughts and opinions has become more accessible than ever before. However, talking excessively and engaging in negative thinking can be counterproductive, as they can distract and hinder mental focus. Throughout history, wise people have emphasized the importance of concise communication and self-control as valuable qualities. By being mindful of our speech and thoughts, we can reap significant benefits. Using fewer words improves communication. Keeping things concise is often seen as a mark of intelligence. Streamlining ideas into a clear and concise form helps to eliminate any confusion. When we speak without thinking, we often end up saying things that are incorrect and that we later regret. Others often showcase their lack of insight through constant chatter, while tight-lipped sages remain wise and discerning. Keep your communication concise and well considered. Similarly, having a negative mindset rarely leads to productive results when compared to focusing on finding constructive solutions. However, the mind often tends to default to complaining, critiquing, and mentally rehashing problems instead of focusing on what we want to cultivate. Research in neuroscience has shown that our brains function more efficiently when we focus on generating positive thoughts rather than negative ones. Effective thinkers focus on their desired objectives rather than getting caught up in situations that trigger anger or anxiety. If we find ourselves talking or thinking about problems without actually doing anything about them, it indicates that we are engaging in unproductive and excessive thinking. Keeping a journal of your emotions can be a helpful way to process and release them, allowing you to focus on more meaningful tasks. Similarly, discussing challenges with reliable companions can be enough without engaging in unproductive venting. Let's outline the next steps and then change direction. Ultimately, the way we express ourselves and focus our thoughts is up to us. Through practice, we can gain control over harmful habits that waste our time and disrupt our mental well-being. Communicate when your words have the power to inspire or inform. Replace negative thoughts with visualized success to break the cycle. Wisdom flourishes when we embrace stillness. Lesson 6: True intelligence lies in knowing where, why, and what to say. Our culture frequently associates intelligence with using aggressive language or trying to be the most knowledgeable individual present. However, it is important to acknowledge that silence can often be more impactful than engaging in loud arguments. Smart people carefully consider the surrounding circumstances before speaking. They grasp the importance of discerning which expressions are beneficial in different situations and why effective. Communicators pay close attention to the context and listen attentively before creating messages that are tailored to specific groups or issues. They inquire about the composition of their audience and the values that hold the greatest significance to them. What is the significance of this discussion? What result do I hope to achieve by expressing different viewpoints at this moment? Understanding the importance of when and how to speak the truth is just as crucial as the truth itself. Conveying concepts in a timely manner is crucial for them to be understood and appreciated. In addition, those who are intellectually curious choose their battles wisely instead of loudly expressing opinions on everything. While free speech allows for the expression of various opinions, it's important to consider the appropriateness of sharing certain views in different situations and environments. There is an old medieval proverb that says remaining silent can make even a fool appear wise. Exercising restraint shows confidence in one's own thoughts without constantly seeking approval from others. In leadership across various domains such as politics, business, and activism, achieving greatness requires a strategic approach of raising voices and then allowing others to contribute by refraining from excessive talking or trying to always be right. You create room for others and foster loyalty among your followers. When we focus on synthesizing diet instead of showcasing our own brilliance, we create the opportunity for transcendent victories. We honor the wise leaders of history even centuries later, instead of those who spent their lives engaging in loud arguments to win minor battles. When expressing opinions, whether online or in person, it can often lead to debates, outrage, and requests for further explanation. Social media encourages immediate responses without much prior consideration. However, struggling to defend incomplete ideas can cause a loss of mental focus. Speaking only when concepts become clear helps us maintain control over our thoughts and sense of self. When ideas first arise, they can be unclear and contradictory. When we speak too soon, we give up control over our changing perspectives to critics who only focus on initial surface-level ideas instead of our fully developed beliefs. However, sometimes in our eagerness to express ourselves, we confuse making offensive comments with genuine self-expression. Even if our words don't accurately represent our evolving inner thoughts, unfiltered voices can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and unintended offense as they lack context and nuance. This can result in having to explain and defend careless phrases instead of focusing on the intended message. Politicians and public figures frequently discover this through media coverage of mistakes and apologies related to controversial statements that end up overshadowing their entire careers. Their experiences serve as a reminder to carefully consider one's beliefs before sharing them with others. In the end, engaging in heated arguments rarely leads to a change of opinion. Instead, it tends to reinforce stubbornness. Living your truth quietly allows it to speak loudly without the need to convince. Skeptics' integrity shines when our inner values align with our actions, attracting like-minded people and setting an example of what it means to embody change instead of merely discussing it. According to Gandhi, you have to embody the change you want to see. Smile instead the next time you feel the urge to share incomplete thoughts with curious people. Imagine you're still observing and learning. When you confidently speak your truth, your convictions become unshakable and unwavering. Amina grew up in a boisterous family known for their quick wit and eloquent conversations. Laughter filled the dinner tables as her siblings engaged in lively debates, each trying to outdo the other. With their funny quips and witty comebacks, Amina excelled in school as a standout member of the debate team, effortlessly mantling opponents' arguments with her extensive research and clever word play, leaving coaches impressed. Nevertheless, Amina encountered obstacles whenever disagreements escalated. Regarding sensitive matters he was passionate about, she had a tendency to react and strategize instead of taking the time to truly understand different perspectives. Her insistence on winning arguments caused distress for her loved ones who disagreed. As time passed, certain relationships within her family became more difficult. Amina often sought guidance from an elderly mentor, discussing a wide range of topics from philosophy to faith. My kindly advised Amina to consider the context before trying to prove a point. Wisdom recognizes that no truth can be understood without listening. Mia would kindly remind, her eyes crinkling with a smile. She recommended considering 3 questions before expressing strong opinions. Who am I speaking to? 2. What result am I aiming for? 3. Can speaking this help achieve that goal? At first, Amina was hesitant to let go of her linguistic advantages that she took pleasure in using. However, witnessing the consequences of certain relationships in her life made her stop and think. She made a promise to herself to take a moment whenever she sensed tension building up with her loved ones. After asking me 3 questions, she frequently chose to listen attentively without interrupting with her own experiences. Over time, Amina developed a greater sense of empathy and comprehension by becoming curious about the reasons behind the opposing views of those close to her. Instead of jumping to conclusions, she preferred to start by asking thoughtful questions both to herself and to others. Through these dialogues, she was able to transform her simplistic black and white thinking into more nuanced perspectives that ultimately benefited both parties involved. Amina gained a deeper understanding by learning how to effectively debate disagreements. Knowing when and why to engage in these discussions, she had a way of speaking that made her words carry a lot of power. She felt a sense of freedom as she let go of the need to always be the smartest or most eloquent, choosing instead to prioritize connection. By choosing silence, she prioritized relationships and principles over personal ego and impulsiveness. Lesson 7. Silence is the first step to truly knowing yourself. In our busy and hectic modern lives, finding moments of silence and self-reflection can be a challenge. Amidst all the noise and distractions that surround us, wisdom traditions emphasize the import of finding moments of solitude and inner stillness in order to live with intention. Understanding ourselves on a deeper level allows us to live in alignment with our true purpose. Amidst the constant flood of information and sensory stimulation in our daily lives, silence provides a much-needed respite. Regularly unplugging can have a positive impact on our nerves, helping them function more optimally. Being still gives us the opportunity to process our experiences and gain a fresh perspective, free from the knee-jerk reactions that stress can provoke. Being alone allows us to hear our deepest desires that often get overshadowed by the noise of others' opinions. Exploring the depths of one's mind necessitates the ability to think independently and make informed judgments. It becomes difficult to solidify our own beliefs and perspectives when we are constantly distracted. Our views are influenced by external voices, but it is important to create a space within ourselves where our inner light can gradually clarify confusing ideas. Many people are often made to feel anxious about being by themselves or spending long periods of time in silence. In the absence of distractions and constant commotion, we are confronted with profound existential questions such as mortality, purpose, and meaning, which we often avoid by staying busy consistently. Addressing these fundamental questions leads to a more down-to-earth way of life. Understanding ourselves allows us to stay on track by ensuring our actions align with our values. Lesson 8. Silence causes confusion for the opponent. By taking short breaks and closing our eyes, our energy naturally focuses on what's most important instead of being spread thin across various urgent tasks. Our minds naturally prioritize worries and obligations. However, when we find stillness, we redirect our attention towards our passions and find healthy ways to express our creativity. Similarly, by disregarding the constant external influences and societal biases surrounding status, material possessions, and the ever-changing news cycle, we can reconnect with our bodies on a sensory level. Being aware of subtle cues regarding the need for physical activity, proper nutrition, social interaction, or relaxation can help prevent feelings of restlessness, illness, and exhaustion caused by neglecting oneself. Understanding the needs of our mind-body-spirit connection requires us to cultivate our ability to listen internally. Quietness also brings about an understanding of living with less dependence on seeking validation from others. Understanding why certain perceived slights or lack of attention can trigger strong emotional responses allows us to regain control over our inner state. This empowers us to not let others or circumstances have too much influence over our happiness. When you close your eyes, the stories and situations fade away, leaving behind the pure reality and a sense of calm. Reconnecting involves consistently eliminating distractions to nurture our inner light. When we go with the natural energy flow that arises within us, we no longer need to rely on external friction. Our dance becomes harmonized, guided by intentional decisions instead of merely reacting to life's circumstances. When trying to reach agreements, it's common for the loudest voices to disrupt the process and make it difficult to find solutions that work for everyone. Studies have shown that effective negotiations often require moments of deliberate silence to foster clear understanding rather than being dominated by conflicting egos. Eliminating distractions and external posturing allows for the creation of a space where common ground can be found and creative problem-solving can take place. Creating an environment of silence fosters trust and comfort, enabling the discussion of sensitive topics without triggering heated arguments. By avoiding the use of inflammatory language, parties are more likely to find common ground. Using reserved body language can also help to signal non-aggression, which can prevent reflexive defensiveness that often hinders productive dialogues. Communication flows smoothly when technology and outside opinions are minimized. In addition, refraining from filling the silence with nurse chatter or immediate rebuttal allows for more meaningful listening instead of simply reacting. In negotiations, our goal is to gain a clear understanding of the motivations and constraints that all players are dealing with rather than jumping to conclusions about their intentions. When their stances differ, allowing room for different viewpoints can often uncover underlying miscommunications that contribute to tension. Getting rid of distractions helps you stay focused and define clear metrics for success. When technology becomes a distraction instead of helping us stay focused, it can lead to miscommunication and important details being overlooked, resulting in a deadlock. Efforts are often wasted on semantic arguments and politics instead of focusing on a broader vision. Lastly, it's important to prioritize laughter and informal connection as well. Developing a relaxed and friendly relationship can enhance our problem-solving skills and prevent conflicts from arising. Good faith negotiations combine a methodical approach to addressing issues with a personal touch. Ultimately, mere words cannot bring about agreements without the guidance of thoughtful consideration. When silence can resolve conflicts that lengthy speeches never could, emphasizing the importance of preserving conditions for openness and possibility, prevails. Lesson 9. Silence attracts attention throughout history. Mystics, philosophers, and artists have harnessed the immense power of quietude by staying away from the limelight that can distract and scatter. Focus. Remaining quiet garners attention by choosing not to constantly seek external validation when there is no unnecessary distraction. True inner strength emerges. Consider artists like J.D. Salinger or Sear, who are known for being reclusive and rarely making public appearances. These rare glimpses into their lives generate strong devotion and interest from their followers. Their ability to remain elusive indicates a strong sense of confidence in their creative talents without seeking fame just for the sake of it. Effective leaders also use silence strategically. Martin Luther King would occasionally retreat from the public eye as he worked on his powerful sermons, drawing inspiration from his deep spiritual connection through prayer. Regularly embracing silence can help build fortitude even for everyday people. Through the practice of privately journaling our feelings, we can gain clarity on our thoughts before confidently expressing them to the public. It's refreshing to have the opportunity to reflect on uncertainties in solitude rather than being bombarded with hastily formed opinions on social media. In our fast-paced culture, the emphasis is often placed on speed and controversy rather than taking the time to reflect and gain wisdom based on our observations. We can put an end to the constant struggle of dwelling on perceived offenses or fixating on personal victories and defeats. In serene environments, creativity flourishes, leading to a life filled with passion and compassion. Free from insignificant conversations. Free from insignificant conversations with time. Gaining depth and poise will earn you respect and a platform when we prioritize self-reflection and personal growth. Our words and actions naturally emanate from a place of genuine strength and authenticity. Our message is crystal clear without any distractions from background noise. In competitive environments, our desire for success motivates us to put in the effort, showcase our skills, and strive to outperform our colleagues. However, if we don't keep our pride in check, it can quickly turn into arrogance, entitlement, and self-absorption, which can lead to isolation from others. Throughout history, wise people have consistently warned about the consequences of excessive pride.